there's like a different snack on every board, so you get like your snacks as you go. I'm like, that's genius. Would
Julia, we
play.
could play that. We should do that. I feel like we could
Yeah,
play a
I've
game
never
like
thought
that.
of it, but like have just have candy on every board piece, and you'd have a little fun.
Yeah.
Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, Disco Citizens, the podcast where gorehounds
And best friends, Terry Gamble
and Julia Marchesi break down a different horror movie each week,
exploring a multitude of genres, subgenres,
and sub-subgenres,
classic and cult,
international,
and underground flicks alike, determining which films are the goriest,
and offering up horror movie survival guide tips
to help you stay alive. Oh my gosh, welcome to another fine, fabulous episode of Horror Movie Survival Guide. I'm Terry, and I'm here with
Julia. This week we are talking about 2022's Bitch Ass. Title of this episode is Are You Willing to Play? And the tagline for this movie is It's Game Night, Play or Die. This is written by Jonathan Colomb and Bill Posley, who also directed the film. And any movie that opens on Tony Todd, you know, I can't go wrong.
This was, I know, a natch for them. I actually talked with one of the producers at a party recently. This is maybe why we ended up covering this movie around now too. But I was like, he was one of Tony Todd's last things that he did. It's one of his last credits, and it was a big deal for them. They also shot this. This was like height of COVID shooting, filming. So you can tell small cast, limited locations was helpful. They shot it around Glendale. You know, it was definitely a labor of love, but the fact that they got Tony Todd to be their horror host was a big match for them. And hearing him say, "Welcome to the gamble," I was like, he's talking to me. I'm the gamble.
You just need to have that as like your voicemail. That's what it just says, "Welcome to the gamble."
Honestly, I might do that. That's actually not a bad idea. It'd be better than what I have right now. Whatever. Someone was like, "It sounds like you're like in a car." I was like, "I probably was like, like windows down or something." Like
Uh-huh.
however it sounds right now, anything would be better than what I have. And Tony Todd would be pièce de
That
résistance.
voice.
Oh, that voice,
So
that
as
man. Rest in peace. What a
yes,
legend.
indeed. He is playing Titus Dark is the name of his horror host for the Hood Horror Movie Nights, and he's going to tell us the story of the first Black serial killer to ever don a mask. This is Bitch Ass, 1999. Let's open on a girl getting chased straight
But
into it.
also, can we talk about the frames of this? This is which I adore, which is because we're setting up that it's a gamer. We got the Rubik's Cube kind of frames, and we see like the Rubik's Cube. The credits look like Rubik's Cubes and stuff too. And then we go right into like this cool little framing of how they broke up the frame. It looks like Rubik's Cubes like matching up on the screen, which I was like, I really love this device. And so a girl's running from a thief. There's a masked man. And he pulls a guy into this thing that looks like it says Game House on it. You're like, oh, are you ready to play? Okay, Saw. Okay, Jigsaw. Okay, let's
Everybody
go.
likes a little game. We have now we have this gang, the 6th Street gang, who has their new initiates who are ready at 666 night. It's your big night. You're going to go. You're going to do your task to become part of this gang. And he asked what they think the deadliest animal in the jungle is, and they said it is the hippo in Africa. I'm sorry, and because they are underestimated. And yes, I've heard that out of water they run fucking fast, which is crazy.
Yeah. And I feel like they always talked about it on the Jungle Cruise at Disneyland. So anyway, they were always like, "Watch out for the hippos." We're like, "Oh, okay, sure." But I guess that was true. That was like not part of like a joke in the on the Jungle Cruise. So
No,
we got a little bit of truth on the Jungle Cruise. Wild.
being chased by a hippo, you ain't gonna win, my friend. I'm sorry. Like that's thousands of pounds of flesh coming upon you to chomp you
Oh
real
yeah.
nice.
Oh
And I've
yeah.
seen them chomp like whole watermelons and stuff, so they got the jaws.
Oh, that's scary. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And of course, Spade the whole time while he's giving this talk and getting the troops, his little new gang initiates riled up. He's playing a Rubik's Cube too. So I was like, okay, great. Our through line is coming through. So the kids are going to scope out the house that they are being charged with robbing later that night, a little too
So
conspicuously.
yeah, you don't just stand right in front of the house that you're about to rob. That's probably
Stare
not a
at
good
it.
idea. But I do like they say. So the deal is that this house, the lady who lived there was known to be a very mean lady, but she had a lot of stuff and she died. And so now they're gonna go in. They're like, doesn't she have a grandson? And they're like, don't worry about it. But they're like, why didn't you do this years ago if you thought that she had a bunch of money? And he said, robbing old people is fucked up. You think I'm a monster? Like
He's like,
every thief's got their borders.
With the code, exactly. He's
Yeah,
like, "No, no, no, I can't do that shit. It would be too
yeah.
egregious."
Robbing
But
old people is
also
fucked up. Don't do that, please. Don't rob
yeah,
anybody, but, like, please
but
don't rob.
especially old people, they barely have, and so it checks out. That was like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense." He's like, "I didn't wanna be that person." He's like, "But now that she's dead, I'll take her stuff." Like,
Yeah,
"Hello, let's go." Right?
sure. I've been wary of any sort of, institution that would make you do something incredibly dangerous to be a part of it. You're like, "No, I'm good." This is why I was skewed all sort of that, but in this
That's
world,
why
there's now
no
4 of
sororities
them.
for you, no hazing?
No,
You already did
definitely
Delta
not.
Delta Die, though, so you were kind of technically in, like, a sorority
Yeah,
situation. It'd be a
it's true.
movie where
Yeah.
yeah, had to do that.
Where
So,
I recommend that we cook people and eat them in pies like Sweeney Todd. Yeah, I did that. If you'd
yeah,
like to
no, that
watch
was
it, get covered in a bucket of blood. I mean, we have an
honestly, it's
episode on it.
incredible. We did cover it here at Horror Movie 7. If you wanna check out Delta Delta Die and I'll link it in our show notes. You can check it out. Julia's so great. So they, stake out the place for their midnight. They're gonna be going there at midnight, like I said, very conspicuously, unfortunately, but, Q is our good boy out of the group who is kind of doing this because it's his cousin, right, or something who, like, is making him do it, and so he's feeling very, like, peer pressured into doing it, but he gets home and, his mom is like, "Where have you been?" And this is me, Lisa, Sellers, who is, also graduated from the same acting grad program that I did, and so I
Ah!
actually I know them. And so what's up? Shout out to Melissa as our mom in this movie.
She's tremendous.
Marcia,
A force.
absolutely. Absolutely. And so she is a force. So she gives Q the what for when he gets home. Like, why are you been out? What do you think you're doing? This is a scary night at 666 night, which is when the night that these, shenanigans are happening. She's like, I don't want you out there in the world. And we find out that his guidance counselor is there at the house, Mrs. Jacobs, who is there to talk about his school scholarships, and she's literally reminds me of my guidance counselor in high school. Terrible. Not
Mine
good at her
too.
job. Like, mine told
No.
me to pick a safer school and that I wouldn't get into the schools I applied to. Did I get into all the schools I applied to? Yes, because 'cause I'm a nerd, and
Yeah,
had a
take that,
lot of
guidance
extracurricular activities. Um,
my guidance
but
counselor,
mhm.
said Gen-Neres instead of genres, and that's when I was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't what's happening here? What's happening here? You're different Gen-Neres of things," and I was like, my brain's like, "Word? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying."
Oh my
So,
god, Julia.
that
That's so upsetting. I'm sorry, that makes my brain hurt hearing that for you. Like, you as a child, I feel like that reminds me we just watched this movie for our movie night recently, Griffin in Summer.
Mhm.
That like, that child in that movie who's, like, way too smart for, like, all the adults in the movie. I feel like that was probably that moment you had, you're like, "I am smarter than this adult. Must
Yeah.
get out of this
I
room."
got I
Like,
got in big trouble in, elementary school for there was a DARE officer who came into a cop who came into our school and was doing
yeah.
some sort of, presentation, and he misspelled something on the board, and I raised my hand, and I was like, "Hey, you misspelled that," and I got in trouble. I got pulled aside and been like, "You don't, like, correct somebody," and, like, "You made him feel bad, and you embarrassed him in front of these people," and I was like, "Dude, it was fucking wrong. What's the problem here? I don't." Anyway, this you can see the kind of kid I was, right? Lots of
Oh,
fun.
yeah. Oh my god,
Lots
people
of fun.
love that shit. People love
Just
that. But
fucking
also, I'm glad
taking
you
down
told that
cops.
guy that dare to spell things correctly, sir. Like
Truth. Truth. Uh, we do have a time for so the yeah, this woman comes in who is the guidance counselor who we only see her in this is her only scene in the movie, right? Where she just is, like, eating cake and is like, "Oh, yeah, your grades are not that good. You didn't really get in anything." And he's like, "You said I was a shoo-in." He's like, "Yeah, I say that to everybody." Give him a little hope, but,
she's like yeah,
you know.
so that they'll actually apply for these things and and then mom, Lisa's like Marcia, she's like, "Get out of here. Like, get out of my house. Like, why are you even here? I thought you were here to give us like good news, but you're here just eating my cake and like being a nuisance." So we get that he has aspirations and dreams, Q, our main character, but besides bitch ass, obviously, but he is not doing as well as he would like. He does want to be a doctor. He does have dreams of getting, and not being a part of this like gang and stuff.
But he's,
Um,
like, average in scholarships. I mean, average in his entire grade, so he doesn't think he's gonna do it. It's like, how is he gonna go forward? I will
yeah,
tell
so
you,
mom
gangs, never the answer. That's not
gangs
gonna
are not the answer, but
no.
that's how the gang leader has enticed him is because he's like, I know you're going to need money for school. And so this is a way to help your family and help you guys do this. So,
S Can I just ask, once
mhm.
you join this gang, are you selling drugs? Like, what are you doing to make money in this gang? Do they
Good
establish that?
question. Unclear. It
Okay.
sounds like he has a lot of enterprises from as this gang goes on. But this for tonight, they are charged with robbing bitch ass's house.
Okay.
So they meet up at the house at midnight. We got a ragtag group of friends. We got Moo, who is just, just not the smartest, not the sharpest tool in the shed, but it seems really sweet. And he's like, "Well, if we get money and we do this in the gang, I want to go to the beach and look at sunsets." And like, he seems like a little sensitive soul. Um,
He is listed on IMDb as AFRO. It's
uh,
with hyphens, so you're
Afro,
letting you know. Yeah, awesome.
Afro,
Like, sweet,
amazing.
go for it. I
Yes.
like a one name legend, right?
Oh my god, Afro, we love you. So Afro insists, our character Moo here insists that he can pick locks. And so he goes to pick a lock, and then like the other friends are like, I don't think he can do that. Like, and he goes over right to the front door, right outside, just like not any type of a disguise, and just goes to try to pick the lock. And he comes right back and goes, I can't do it. And you're like,
I
oh
would say,
no.
like, in this beginning part of the film, I feel like there's, like, we had talked about before, this whole genre of, like, whimsical crime, where, like, this is,
Yes.
kind of like it seems low stakes, everything's gonna be okay, there's, like, ragtag bag, and then we're gonna get into, like, the hard horror stuff later, but kind of up until then, it's just this, like, yeah, kinda whimsical, kinda
Yeah, they
goofy.
are kinda goofy, cute, like, kinda little horror comedy, like, like, just bumbling idiots, kind of just like, especially them, like, even from their stakeout, I'm like, "They don't know what they're doing. They are just out here, they're like, 'How are we gonna get in?' I don't know. Okay, I guess we go around the back, let's try to figure it out from there," and
I mean, why would you want people who are not that bright for your gang in the first place? They're gonna
I
fuck up your
don't
orders and
know, or at
stuff,
least
man, you know?
or at least help them out, like, I felt like Spade, like, the leader should have given them a little more information of, like, "This is how you do it." Like, if you're getting into this gang, like, it's not for you to just figure out how to rob people, it's like, you're there to learn. I feel like it's more like
Yeah.
what a proper MLM, like, pass the information down to your downline, instead of, like, making them figure it out on their own. And so they go around the house, they see the little game house thing that we've seen earlier, that we saw a little flash of at the beginning when we had that original robber scene. But we see some cellar doors, and so they figure out they can get in through there. So they go in through the cellar doors, but they don't realize they are basically entering into a ready or not, game slash
Mhm.
like the blackening. That kind of
Yeah.
vibe where all of a sudden you walk into a room and you're like, oh no, you're in a game now that you didn't know you did not want to be a part of, and you weren't aware it was actually a game, and the person you're trying to rob is absolutely aware of you and what you're
Yeah.
trying to do. So they go into the cellar, and we also get a flashback though too that shows us bitch ass as a child making a game called Shopopoly. It's like Monopoly, but where you get where there's snacks. And I thought of you, Julia. I was like,
Snacks!
we love a
I love
snack.
snacks.
And so instead of, buying property, you buy snacks, and that's how he created the game. Anyways,
There's, like, a different snack on every board, so you get, like, your snacks as you go. I'm like, "That's genius. Would
Julia, we
play."
could play that. We should do that. I feel like we could
Yeah,
make a
I've
game
never
like
t thought
that.
of it, but, like, have just have candy on every board piece, and you'd have a little fun.
Yeah.
Grandma, unfortunately, is very mean to Cecil, AKA bitch ass, and, burns him with a lighter for being stupid and touching her stuff and just because. So, we know he's very traumatized. This is being set up. We will learn much more throughout the film, but this is our first idea of what bitch ass was up against as a youth.
Yeah, his flashbacks are pretty brutal, and so we see the, players, walk into the game, and they're going in through the basement. They see a stack of all these games, and they're like, "Oh, there's a lot of games in here, huh?" And we also find out about grandma's rules as well as we're going through into the house as we go into these rooms. So, she has a whole, like, list of, like, thou shalt nots, like, that are very, like, Bible, Ten Commandments kinda style, but her
Mhm.
biggest one is thou shalt not lust, and she, beats up our bitch ass as a child during that kind of stuff too. And so that was really fascinating. My brother just recently sent me something about like black kids dating versus like white kids dating in high school and stuff like that. And how it's like, as like a black child, it's like, don't get pregnant, don't lust, like, don't do any of that stuff. So you don't really, you're like not encouraged to date it like at all, really. And whereas like, I feel like you get like more of a courtship vibe where it's like, oh, so and so has girlfriend, boyfriend, like, and within like white culture versus black culture anyway, fascinating. And I just really
Hmm.
thought about this in bitch ass where it's like, no, she's like, don't get anyone pregnant. Like, don't be out there. Don't be lusting. Don't be doing anything. So he's very isolated. He like wears a suit every day to school. Like he's
Mhm.
like this kid who has no social skills. So he ends up socializing through these games, but just not well. And then he
No.
starts making death games, which is also not great.
I
So
do I do like that
mhm,
we have, every room that we get see them go in, they have the little tag of the basement, the attic, the where they are in the house. I would
very
really have
clue.
liked an overhead master shot of the whole
Yes.
house, so
Yes.
then I can, like, visualize exactly where they are because they were kind of giving you that, but not enough. So I was just like, "Just give me that one thing." I'm like, "Okay, and now I got it."
That would be freaking great. I agree. That would be actually really awesome because it gave us that little clue element too of like I
Mhm.
kind of wanted like what's in each room kind of thing. Like this is the museum room, so we have like skulls and taxidermy and like are we going to use those things? Are those all going to be the tools? But in each room, we're getting different games that are going to be set up. We get up in this other room though, where there's a game called Surgeon that Bitch has to set up to go against Moo. And it looks exactly like Operation, but it's called Surgeon. But it's Operation, but it's real. There's a real dead man on the table, and his parts are all gutted out on the top, with some tongs that are attached that could maybe attach to something that could electrocute you, exactly like the childhood game of Operation. And so Moo tries to play, does not go well. Sweet
I feel
Moo.
like this is like for me, it feels like this was the hook that the author probably thought of first. He was like, "What if you played Operation with like a real guy and his guts are onto the table and you really get electrocuted? And then if you just spiral from there and think about any other childhood game or board game you would play, I think that seems like the kind of the fun
Oh,
of this
yeah.
movie, right?"
Oh, absolutely, and try to figure out how to make each one of these awful things a death trap for somebody, right? Out of your childhood games. So, Moo does not win. He ends up touching the sides too many times and gets fully electrocuted and does not make it out of, Bitch Ash's trap. Um, and then we got, our next girl is Cricket, who is the girl of the bunch, but she's also gay, which is great because she and earlier they were both talking about how hot Q's mom was, like or something. They're like, we both think your mom's hot. Like Moo and Cricket both were like, yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, agreed.
And Cricket's
Um,
looking for an engagement ring for her girl. So you're like, "Oh, that's kind of nice." But she also seems not that smart because she just
no,
no. So
no,
she gets up getting nabbed and then wakes up in a dungeon room where there is a giant version of Connect 4. So they're going to start with the pieces, but then they run out of pieces. So then you go, oh, you gotta stick your hands in the slot. And then you look up and there's a guillotine that's going to chop off whatever's in that slot. So pretty
yeah.
fun.
So she ends up losing pretty swiftly, once we get to hands, so then she has to stick her neck in there and she's gonna get a head chop, which is just well, I was not expecting that to go that fast. So I was like, "Oh, okay, we are really going there.
Yeah.
This is gonna get real, real bloody real fast." And so after she had done her best to talk about her love and life, and I just was so sad to see her go, but there she is, body count down.
Yep.
And so she gets decapitated. But now we find out a little more backstory about Q's mom. He ends up upstairs and he finds the old yearbook, Cecil's yearbook, aka bitch ass's yearbook. And we see all the awful things people wrote in his yearbook, like you're fat ass, you suck, like all these things. But the one person who wrote something nice, Marcia, is Q's mother. And so we get that maybe they have, an okay relationship. We get more of a flashback of their relationship and how, she used to hang out with him and look out for him when other people would talk crap to him.
She was also Spade's girl, who was very, very anti bitch ass for some reason. So he's going to make his life miserable. But now Q knows a little bit something about his mom that he didn't know before. We find Tuck, who finds some jewelry, and he also finds Moo's dead body. And bitch ass hits him with this shower door a bunch, which
Yeah.
seems pretty rough. And Tuck is now tied up and is going to play Jenga, which is so the Jengas, the two, how do you describe it? It's like two scales. When you take a
Yeah.
piece out of the Jenga, it's also going to tighten your opponent's noose.
A noose around your neck. Yeah. So the way he's got it set up, it's a full death trap of Jenga plus like yeah, like you said, a weighted game, and weighted against you. The odds are stacked against you, literally. And
Mhm.
so they play this game, this very dangerous game. Q ends up discovering them and tries to help Tuck out, but Tuck unfortunately gets yanked up as the scales get out of whack and doesn't make it through this section. But in the meantime, Q has found some money and some stuff and put it in his backpack and hidden his backpack in this like garbage can outside the game room. So he's in the house without this stuff, and he's got a secret like stash spot for it. His mom is going to. We find out that maybe Bitch S's mom is still alive, but also Q's mom is gonna figure out where the heck they are because she gets home from working a triple shift. We find out, that she's been working very hard to help save money for the boy to go to school, and, she gets home exhausted, and Q is not there, and it's 666 night, and she's pissed. So she goes to Spade to figure out where the heck, her son is, and he's like, "Well, funny
They
thing."
they have a very good confrontation though. I really enjoy their giving each other a good energy.
Mhm,
And there's a part where Marcia asks just what he likes about games, and he said there's a game for everyone. And he said his favorite is paper rock scissors because there's part instinct, part luck. Go okay. So now we're just gonna go to the house where Boots, who is Spade's Renfield, kicks the
mhm.
door in, and now we're gonna give a fight.
Yeah, so now we got more body count, showing up. Right on time, right when we need a few more people, so we add their little we've and in between there've been, like, player cards as part of the movie, like, part of the device, so you see, like, who versus who, and, like, who's n all they have face cards, kinda like Clue 2, where it's like, Mrs. So and so, Mrs. Peacock, whatever, like, it has, like, their little names and stuff like that, in the parlor, and so we are, gonna see a very crazy game in the parlor, or one of the Sixth Street guys, that's Boots, who's going to get clobbered by Cecil. Even though they try to talk crap to him, like, why are you coming in and being mean? That's the thing you talked about before. A lot of these movies, if you just go in and be nice, it's a good way to
Mhm.
survive life and
Yeah.
horror movies, instead
And
of
also,
being
if
mean
you
and
are a
holding
girl,
old grudges.
well, also, if you are a grown man and you still think that you need to pick on this guy, then there's also a problem with you, right? Like you need to you need to you sh if why are you dating someone who would anyway? So it all ends up with bitch ass and his youth. Spade's crew beat him up very badly and also sliced his face up with a razor. So that is why he wears his mask. So this is why he's getting revenge on them specifically. And anybody who comes in contact with him, he's like, "Oh, well, you people," because he really wants Q and Spade, but like he'll take whoever he can get, I'm sure. And so we're
Yeah.
gonna have our battleship, which is between bitch ass and Spade and
But it's not just
Marcia.
Battleship, it's Battle Planes, because of course we've changed
Mhm.
everything's a little bit different than the actual game, of
Yep.
course.
No copyright, no copyrights
No
here, you
copyright,
know?
exactly. So it is, yeah, so it's like Battle Planes, so it looks like Battleship, and so they've got the board set up, and they're little like, whatchamacallit, model airplanes. But we also get that Marcia was actually had been a part of it and, like, Spade outs her to bitch ass, like, "Hey, actually, she was part of the problem too, like, she helped us beat you up sometimes in a way, like, getting him to, like, locations because he trusted her." So he ends up slapping her too, so now we're like, "Oh, no one's safe anymore," because the
Mhm.
one person who had seemed like the nice person was actually not as 100% lily white as she seemed, right? Or, kind. And so, we have battle planes. Spade, has to get stabbed each time if he misses, basically, and bitch ass makes Marcia do it. So she has to kill her ex, while during this game, which is just brutal.
Where would you stab somebody if you had to do this? I mean, like, you're really trying to not hurt them. I mean, because she does, like, shoulder up here, right?
But she has to leave it in the way it is because it's like it's like the little pieces that you have when you play
Yeah.
Battleship. You like put them in, punch them into like the little peg, and so oh my god, I don't know.
So, bitch ass
I don't wanna
is
have to think about stabbing anybody, sorry, I'm like, I don't
no.
know, I don't wanna do it.
Bitch ass is
Um,
stabbing himself, so he's making also taking whenever he gets, hit as well, and now he finally makes the choice, he's like, "Oh, well, here's your son, and you can either save Spade or you can save your son, so choose."
well, right before that, though, we find out that Cecil's grandma, is
Is
actually
still
still
alive.
alive, and so the old lady has been tied up upstairs. Q finds her, up in the sunroom, and she plays Q, like, she's like, "Oh my god, thank you for saving me. He made it look like I was dead," and then we find out, no, she's in on it as well, too. She pulls out a big old gun, That's where we get more of this fight where we find out that the moms, so we get like grandma versus mom and Q
Mhm.
versus bitch ass. This is like the final battle, like the family battle, basically with them. And we're gonna play a really fucked up game of his favorite, Rochambeau, rock paper scissors.
That's right. I mean, this is you got to choose that game. So we are putting a lighter under your hand, kind of stuff. Like they're really going like, oh, it's I don't know. Tell them. What do you think?
It was brutal. Yeah, no, it's brutal. So Q versus bitch ass. And so as this is happening though, mom threatens to kill Cecil's mom, grandma here or whatever. And so and she pulls out her IV and ends up beating her up. And she ends up lighting up the game house, end up getting out of there as this
Mhm.
game goes on. Leaves some kerosene. There was some kerosene left handily by the door. They light it up and get out of there, and do make it out, but not after a knockdown drag out
Yeah,
fight happens.
mom kills bitch ass in like a mom rage, like that only a mom can rage. So then we are going to skip forward. He also
Three
gets the
months later,
stuff that he got out of the trash can, his little like rewards, the stuff he actually stole
yeah,
from the house. So he actually did
yeah,
get a bunch of money and stuff from that house.
yeah,
But 3 months later, Q's leaving for college. But when mom comes back in, there's a bloody Rubik's Cube on the table. Bitch ass will play again.
yeah. So even though Q is off to school and moving away, we got to keep a lookout because who knows. So they
Always
are
got
still
to be
being
ready for a
watched.
sequel, man. You know, the
Double
horror
tap,
movie always.
because they didn't really see him die. Like they knocked him out, but she didn't kill him. So but even though she had killed the mom, so who knows.
So how do
Um,
you survive, bitch ass? Be nice to people, right?
Be nice to people. And then we get Tony Todd at the end, of course, too, wrapping around for our beginning horror host. And he says, "Fortune can change in an instant." Da da da.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. You survive by being nice. Like you
Yeah.
don't be an asshole. Don't beat up people if you don't need to. That's crazy.
But also,
Um, don't be
grandma
a
becomes a
bully.
big part of the story, but grandma is also a bully, right? Like she, even if at home, he's not free from it. So you get
No.
bullied out, you go out, you get bullied when you get at home. Like, of course, you're going to twang a little bit. Would you give us some gore factor, please,
I
my
would love to give
bestie?
you some gore. I'll gore you. I gore you. One, not enough blood to fill a Dixie cup. Two, a puddle of blood. Three, enough blood to gross out the average viewer. Four, a bathtub of blood. Five, run for the barf bag. There's a lot of blood in this movie, from beginning to end. There's a decapitation, so this is a five for
Yeah.
gore.
So, chainsaws, one, if you're desperate, two, barely qualifies as a horror film, three, seen worse, seen better, four, not too shabby, and five, fantastic oracle. This is a three for me. I thought a lot of the games were really fun. It was obviously taking a like imagination. You have to build those things in real life. I thought all of the performances were really good. I thought Elisa Sellers was in particular very awesome.
Yeah.
And what do you give it?
I also give it a 3. Same for me. Seen worse, seen better. I really, enjoy the gamification. I just think some of the pacing, and I wish we had that overlay. That would have been so fun if that would have been like, I don't know. There's a couple things to ratchet up the intensity of in between the games. I think would have been helpful.
Yeah,
But
I guess like
mhm.
if a movie takes place in a big house like this, like it really does, you do really do need to get a sense of where everything is before you begin this kind of stuff, or else you're like, oh, I don't really know where they are, even though you're giving them the thing. So thank you for listening to us talk about Bitch Ass. You can find us on every social media thingy. We will talk to you with delight. We are also on Patreon if you'd like to financially support some people who are working hard to make art on our own. And we also have Teespring if you would like to represent merch on yourself. I am also on two other podcasts, The Losers Club and JodoWOWsky. If you have not heard enough of me rabbiting on about things, there's more of that. You can find it.
It's a never-ending font, Julia. We give the people what they want so much. Thank you so much again. I hope you have a beautiful week. I hope you get to play some fun games wherever you're at, all you gamers out
Ooh.
there.
Yeah, we would love
Um,
to know what your favorite game is. And do we have another
yeah.
game-based horror movie that you like that we haven't talked about? And we have
I know
done
we've covered
the
some fun
original
ones.
Saw.
Yeah. We covered the original Saw, we got Ready or Not, we got The
Yep.
Blackening. There's some
Mhm.
other movies out there that I think, but is there another one that we've missed that is like a gamer horror? Because I would be down to do a little gamer horror like round or something. That'd be
Yeah,
cute.
that'd be fun.
Yeah. I love a game. We know this. I love
Yeah, I
D&D. I love,
do.
we love playing a little something fun. Anyway, thanks so much. Have a beautiful week. Bye.
Thank you for listening. Horror Movie Survival Guide is independently produced by Terry Gamble, Julia Marchesi, and Sierra Ryan. Hey, that's me. If you would like to support the show, find us on patreon.com/horror movie survival guide.